Welcome back to my show. This is NainaMD, Beverly Hills, Fusion of Science and Beauty. I've got a fabulous guest. She is a true and living testimonial to the success of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy in anti-aging medicine. Now, as you know, a lot of people don't quite understand what bioidentical hormone replacement therapy is. It is the replacement of your hormones that are exact same chemical structure. And we do not use oral medications because that can affect how your liver processes and really cause a lot of the side effects that people have been hearing about or have heard about. So it's a very new approach. There was an approach that I used with very low dose bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. A lot of people are starting to do that in integrative medicine and anti-aging medicine. And so when we discuss this and introduce all these new things, people often ask, well, how do you know? There's really no science to back it up. There absolutely is a lot of science to back it up. There's evidence-based studies. There are, the bioidentical hormones they're plant-based. They've been around for many, many years, but people just didn't know about it. Every generic synthetic estrogen has a bioidentical part. Of that is a bioidentical hormone called estriol. I mean, you can do an analysis, fact check that, but a lot of times that knowledge is just not perpetuated. And so on this show, I really wanted to bring a guest that has actually been a testimonial. She's actually gone through this, had some issues, and it's always good to actually get it straight from the horse's mouth, right? And so she's phenomenal. Her name is Rose Jacobson. Thank you so much for coming to my show,
thank
really.
You so much.
And there's been, you've been a client of mine, and I just am so grateful that you're willing to come on the show. I think you're the one who brought this up. I was going to actually talk about, because you're a rep for transformation enzymes, I'm saying, well, which we'll get into that, but I said, I think that's a great product. We'll talk about how the importance of enzymes and nutraceuticals in integrative medicine, and you stopped me and said, I want to talk about something that how I met you and your experience, and we kind of changed that just impromptu, just before we aired this show. So please share with how did we meet?
Well, this is really important because I think there's a lot of women out there who don't understand bioidentical hormones, and I see them. Like I told you, I am a rep for transformation enzymes. I was at a health show,
and you recognize the importance of nutraceuticals, so you understand all about all integrative medicine, alternative medicine. And here you are, you're right up at the top. She's at the top, done it for many, many years, worked with world's renowned alternative integrative doctors.
Yes, and what's really interesting is that I was at a convention the year before I met you, and Dr. Dickie Fuller came up to me and she said, honey, I love you. I know you take a lot of digestive enzymes, you take care of yourself, but if you don't get your hormones checked and you don't get your thyroid checked, you're going to die. And I was like,
where were you at?
This was in Houston in Sugar Land. And we're very close. She's been my mentor for a long time. I've been with the company for over 18 years. And I was shocked. And I said, what do you mean? Look how good I look. And she was like, no, you don't have any hormones. A year later, let's fast track. I'm at
IAT?
No, I'm at IAT convention, the one over here in Los Angeles.
Is that the one that
That's where I met you.
And the IAC is the International Association of Colonic Hydrotherapists. It asked me to be a keynote speaker.
Right.
And I was going to talking about liver detox.
And hormones, bioidentical hormones. You brought it in.
Yes.
So that night I get there. Next morning they're taking me on a gurney, giving me nitroglycerin sprays and pills. I'm in the middle of them stopping a heart attack.
Wow.
I ended up in the hospital overnight on a nitroglycerin patch. I was released to go home, but I'm so determined to work, I said, no, I'm going to finish the last day. The only presentation I went to was yours. Because in the back of my mind, when Dr. Fuller said to me, if you don't check your hormones, you're going to die, I was like, this lady's speaking on hormones. When I saw you on stage, and you knew so much about the biochemistry of each woman, and if you take a look around and you look at how women need hormones, how their bodies change, they can't be happy. Their health. I mean, I looked really healthy, but I was tired all the time. I'd sleep for days. I just had lost all of my mojo. And it was really sad. And after that experience, I felt like someone had ran me over with the truck. And when you were walking away, I stopped you and I said, I want an appointment with you. Within 2 weeks, I came in, you did the saliva testing, I was flatlined on all of my hormones, my adrenals were shot to hell, excuse my language, and my thyroid was off. And they were testing my thyroid, and they would tell me my thyroid was normal, but you ran quite a few different tests.
Yeah, and again, this is just importance of that is it's not standard of care.
Yeah.
If I was, it's not a standard of care. Any medical board that would look at this doctor doing, it's not a standard of care. And this is the whole reason I'm mentioning this, is because we have to sometimes, when something new is happening, we have enough scientific evidence based in the biochemistry journals, in the nutritional journals, in the orthomolecular journals.
Very true.
But it may not be in the JAMA or the New England Journal of Medicine. But that doesn't mean that the science is not there.
Well, I think they're talking more and more about that, and you're seeing more hormone issues with men and their testosterone levels. Well, women need testosterone too.
Yes.
And you ran my test twice because you couldn't believe how there was nothing there.
Yes.
And I used to wake up in the morning, felt like I was coming out of a war zone, my personal family stress, how it would drain me. And you've been so wonderful to work with what's going on in my life, being able to adjust my hormones as needed. Had a really early hysterectomy, toxemic, 3 pregnancies. You're the only one that said to me, wait a minute, this is not normal. And I think that's made a really difference. And so I'm very happy to be with you because I feel like you get me.
Do you feel like the quality of life with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy has made a difference for you?
Well, I think first of all it was my energy level, because I have a 2-story house, I have a very big house, and even going upstairs I'd be so short of breath. Wow. Yet my blood work looked normal. I think that the other thing that was going on too is that I was having hot flashes, and hot flashes are terrible. Women think it's normal. I can just, as a nutraceutical rep, I just think of what it's doing to the body. The thyroid was my favorite when you finally found out, because sometimes you wake up in the morning and I take my thyroid pill and I feel like it's such a night and day difference not being on thyroid and being on thyroid. I can't even tell you. I was scared. I will tell you, when I first started the hormones, because I had previously gone to someone and I ended up getting heavier. I ended up just not being comfortable with it. And I love the hormones that you use because I've had no problems. I've actually lost weight. I've gained muscle tone because I didn't have any muscle mass. And when I did have the high, like some prolactin level that was high, within 2 months you fixed it for me.
My base is very different. It's my unique base. And if you look at a lot of even the best sourcing of the hormones, and we're talking like the Cartier of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, those companies, and you look at their base, I mean, I still have my proprietary knowledge, but I'll tell you, it's so different. And the few people, the chemists that I've shared it with, they're like, we don't even understand why they would be using that base, why they would not use this base. Mine is so simple, but yet so effective, and it allows for a very small dosage of your hormone to actually work. And we don't use DMSO, we don't use anything that we're not supposed to. It's so simple and it's so natural that when you look at it and you say, is this like a cookie? I mean, is this like a cooking recipe? Because it's so natural ingredients that you could literally use in your food. That's amazing about the base.
And your hormones are completely different. I've been on them now over 2 years, and I've never had one issue. So, and how many people have I referred you to that were so afraid? And you cut their hormones in half in one particular person that I know. And
a lot of people would come, and we would. And again, I think it's so important. When you speak to people, and I think this is one of the biggest things which I know that I have faced. When people hear the term hormones, it's just like they're programmed to. It's scary. right?
I think it is. I think it's scary for a lot of women. They're like, no, I'll do it naturally. But you know what?
But it's not natural when you want to age. And why, if you want to do naturally, then why are we not sitting in a rocking chair at the age of 40? Why is it that we want to age naturally, but then we expect ourselves to be functioning like a 30-year-old, and our bosses or whoever we are working for expect us to function like a 30 or a 40-year-old, yet we are aging. And it's such a dichotomy, right?
Well, and here's the thing. I really feel that it's because women aren't educated enough. And some women that they see that are on hormones, and they hear all the horror stories, but they don't understand that if you're not on hormones, your risk for disease is higher. Your risk for injury, it's higher. So that's why, look, not everybody knows how to work hormones, but I really feel that because I have had such a sensitive constitution from Crohn's disease, pancreatitis, I was just born a sick kid. And that's why I was so scared. And to know what I've been able to achieve using hormones.
Are you stabilized?
I'm
your
just
Crohn's and all that?
I'm excited. I'm excited about it, and
I think that's really what the whole purpose of the show.
And that's what I think it was really important for women to know.
You guys, really, this was not planned. It was like I was really going to say, okay, Rose, let's talk about the transformation enzymes, and she's actually took the initiative and said, no, I want to talk about this because I think it's important to get the message out to women. And I thought about it and I said, okay, we need to do this. It's 2017 now, we need to do this.
Yeah.
So I agreed for you to talk about this.
And I appreciate it.
I think it's important. You're absolutely right. It is important, a subject where, and the decline in hormones actually increase inflammation. And it is a scientific fact. Check it out, you guys. Because there's inflammatory markers you can measure when we have a decline in the hormones, those inflammatory markers. And if I have actually on not every patient because it's expensive testing, but on certain patients, when you check the markers, inflammatory markers, and then you put them on this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, you recheck, the markers have come down. So you lower inflammation, and so it only makes sense that inflammation is the major crux of all the diseases, right? High blood pressure is because of inflammation. Arthritis, inflammation. Crohn's, inflammation. I mean, anything.
It adds
up.
Just what is it? The type 2 diabetes is also really attached.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And I thank you for allowing me to share this with you, because there's too many women out there that need to start asking questions. They're tired of being tired. And that's an awful feeling to have. And not only that, let's not, your sex life is vastly improved, and your husband's happy, your partner.
And if you're happy, if children are happy, it permeates. And I think it's great that a lot of things that we can try to balance by our meditation, by our doing things naturally. But there's just times when you can't stop things. And if we can have a better quality of life, no harm done.
And that's why Dr. Fuller said that.
This is known as low-dose bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Again, if you want to learn more about it, it would be, I'm going to have to say it's www.NainaMD.com, because I'd be more than happy to talk to you about what bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, even if you just want to ask questions and you just want to know about it. I'll guide you to the right sources. I teach this now, by the way. So this is a new development that's happened. I joined the faculty of a certain organization. And so this is just to spread the word to doctors and teach, and hopefully this will be a mainstream treatment. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to be back next week with another fabulous show. NainaMD, Beverly Hills, Fusion of Science and Beauty.